I'm Patricia Akemi Neilson, and presently I'm the director for the Asian American Student Success Program at the University of Massachusetts, Boston. And this program is funded by the U.S. Department of Education legislation, which is the ANAPISI, Asian American, Native American, Pacific Islander Serving Institution legislation.
All right, next.
And I'm May Toy Lukens, and I am currently an interim dean at the Seattle Vocational Institute. I had the honor of being one of the first ANAPISIs at South Seattle College, and we had two, and I was the project director for the two.
Excellent.
My name is Tim Fong. I'm professor of ethnic studies. I'm also at California State University, Sacramento. And I'm also the director of the Full Circle Project, which is an ANAPISI funded grant program that we received in 2011. We received a second grant in 2016.
Why don't we start from the beginning, right? Real basics. Tell us a little bit about what is an ANAPISI. What is this Asian American, Native American, Pacific Islander Serving Institution?
So it really did kind of start back in, I think it was 2007. Congressman Underwood had been trying to get recognition for the fact that there was an Asian American Pacific Islander population that wasn't being served, that was marginalized and invisible and underserved. It's Asian American, and then it's Native American Pacific Islander as one.
So Pacific Islanders who are native to their
Right.
I see.
Native.
So
Got
the
it.
Northern Marianas, Guam, places like that who are territories of the United States or Commonwealths,
Okay.
they qualify.
What's the process typically in applying for the grant, and then what are the grants typically used for in supporting the students at these campuses?
Primarily when we're all writing our grants, these particular grants are looking at student services. About retention and graduation rates is a big way to measure whether the
Right.
grant is successful or not. At UMass Boston, we have an integrated approach with our grant versus a cohort model where you follow students
Sure.
over the years.
Okay.
Ours is an integrated one, so we don't target a particular population of students. All our students who are Asian American Pacific Islander on our campus is our target population.
Okay.
So what we do is we provide tutoring, and we try to hire tutors who are bilingual and who are culturally sensitive, because our regular tutoring center does not allow that. So we did some studies with the tutoring center, and we said we wanted to try this different model. We're not supplanting. What we're doing is trying to provide a different model, because our students do not use our regular tutoring services.
Right.
They go once and they never return. The second thing was a peer mentoring approach, because we are a commuter campus and our students work, and
Right.
so a big portion of our grant was to provide student employment, so they're not going off campus to
Right.
work. They could go do it between classes, or that work around their schedule.
see.
So we have a lot of student employment, doing leadership development, doing mentoring, doing tutoring, and all those kinds of things. And those are the student services kind of things. UMass Boston, from what I know of all the funded institutions, we have a pretty unique situation where we have a very strong Asian American Studies program, and we have Institute for Asian American Studies, which is the research arm. And then we have academic support services. So we come in with a sense of purpose for our students, except that all these years before the ANAPISI funding, we were working in silos. So the Asian American Studies, the Institute, everybody was in their own enclave and not so much doing, even if they knew each other, it was, so that was my job, to make everybody work together, and that was the not my job, but the intention of the grant is to integrate the services of the academic support services who are in, so that's why we have the tutoring, but we do a lot of leadership development through our Asian American Studies program. We added courses. We have a freshman seminar and an intermediate seminar that are requirements, and we put a call out for the development of courses for those two, so that those are options for our incoming freshmen and transfer students.
Wonderful.
For a gen ed course to become a requirement with Asian American content.
Being focused on the culturally relevant, different needs of the Asian American Pacific Islander community on the student services side, but also combining the academic side and breaking down all the different silos within the institution to get folks connecting with each other. That's incredible.
And then we have one more thing. Because we have this entity on our campus, the Institute for Asian American Studies, there's a research part of our grant that we put aside part of a budget to offer research funds to faculty who serve Asian American, underserved, and underrepresented students. If there are research centers around that, they can apply to get funded. It's small grants, you know,
Sure.
$5,000, $6,000. And the first year we did it just for Massachusetts, and then we opened it up to nationally, and we've been getting submissions from all over the country. And then every third and fifth year we try to put on a conference where the people can showcase their research, because there's such limited research done on our student population.
I think that's one of the challenges, because a lot of institutions either don't know their ANAPISI, or there is lack of interest on the campus or political will to do it, and I think that's significant. So it has to have buy-in by the university, because it's the university that applies. Honestly, even getting yourself designated is an accomplishment, and it's important politically, because we want to be able to show how many institutions are out there, because the funding from the federal government, they want to know what's the need. If there's not a lot of designated ANAPISIs, then what is this for? So you need to grow the number of designated ANAPISIs.
And the challenge with that is that the model minority myth.
Absolutely.
Because of the model minority myth, campuses may not see the need for it, so they don't pursue it. Or even if you have gotten, been awarded an ANAPISI, it still can be a challenge to get campus on board because of that myth that you have to debunk.
Sure. So, model minority myth, the idea that Asians are a monolithic group who are doing well educationally, financially. They don't need help. There are no issues out there.
So there's a lot of political work on campus even before you can apply. It's quite literally educating the administrators about the needs for API students on campus. And I will say May and Pat have been the leaders in making that happen.
I made a commitment when we did the ANAPISI, because I started in higher ed late in my life, because I had moved to Massachusetts and I had to reestablish myself.
Sure.
That was really tough. But I worked my way in the community college system up to a dean. But then I had this opportunity
Funny
after I got my
opportunities.
doctorate. They invited me to be at UMass Boston, and then this grant opportunity came. I started in soft monies. And so now I'm closing out my career in soft monies because it's innovative. But I say, wow, how better could I close my career? What's kept me on with this work is the national impact I could make with you guys. So what a way to end. To go on to another chapter in my life.